Good morning, Team Alabama. We are ready for another Achieve 3000 today. You are going to find Indigenous Peoples Day Steps Out. Please find this on your Chromebook. Do the before reading poll right now, and then we will do the stretch article together. And after that, you will do your article at your Lexile level and your activity. Always shoot for a 75%, please. Okay, Indigenous Peoples Day steps out. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. The double thumps of sticks on a large skin drum reverberate across the ground of an Indigenous Peoples Day celebration, keeping time for the singers. Some 36 dancers can feel the beat in their chests, and the steady rhythm of the communal drum is meant to echo the beating heart of a life itself. The participants, many in colorful clothing and headdresses, clasp each other's hands, stepping and sliding clockwise in the symbolic round dance, a demonstration of healing and friendship. With smiles and nods, the dancers invite spectators of every age, race, and religion to join the circle. Indigenous Peoples Day is gaining ground as a holiday as more states and cities add it to their calendars. These celebrations have become a rallying event of pride and aspiration of Indigenous nations as Native American communities continue to reclaim their history and heritage after many generations of loss and tremendous hardship. Columbus and comebacks. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. For decades, American kids have learned that poem about Christopher Columbus and how he discovered America. In truth, there were millions of Indigenous people already thriving in the Americas long before the arrival of those ships from Spain. For Indigenous people in the Americas, this contact with Europeans marked the beginning of a cataclysmic shift in history. Cataclysmic means pertaining to a violently destructive event that brings out fundamental change. So it's not a good thing. A shift in history as disease, war, and conquest killed millions of Native Americans and forced survivors into broad retreat, with colonists following close behind to seize their lands. Government agencies then tried to force these defeated nations to forego and forget their languages, cultures, traditions, and religious practices. Ultimately, such efforts to suppress the history and heritage of Indigenous peoples were unsuccessful, and in recent decades, they have mounted a major cultural comeback. Today, there are more than 5 million Indigenous people living in the United States, and they belong to more than 550 nations, from the Iroquois to the Northeast, to the Cherokee in Oklahoma, to the Aleutians in Alaska. Through organizing, political action, economic development, and other means, they continue to reclaim more of their heritage, culture, and right to self-determination. A day of pride and celebration. In some ways, Indigenous Peoples Day is a culmination of this renewed and growing pride in Indigenous identity. Since the first official celebration was held in 1989 in South Dakota, more states and communities have voted to establish Indigenous Peoples Day as an official holiday, and today a total of 12 states and more than 100 municipalities have joined a growing list of those honoring